the top 5 reasons why you should be farming Affinity Breaker. What is it actually going to do for your account? Let's find out. What's going on, guys? Blazin here. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. All right, so you guys have definitely not been farming Affinity Breaker, and I know in a lot of the videos I've been showcasing Affinity Breaker and people are like, well, why am I farming? Why would you spend the energy, or not energy, but I guess the time, I guess my energy to make the team and time to farm it? But it is actually one of the best sets. And to be quite honest, on a lot of champions, probably the best set. Champions like Newt, champions like Wallmaster who have enemy max HP hits, this is probably one of their best sets. You're gonna say, okay, well, why? What's it actually going to do for my account? Well, let's start off with what is Affinity Breaker, right? So Affinity Breaker is a 4-piece set that you can farm out in Doom Tower from 2 out of the 3 rotations. And it gives you 30% crit damage and a 50% chance not to weak hit. Basically, on affinity champions, because not everything is void, if you go up against the wrong affinity and weak hit, places like Phantom Shogun will increase the timer or the stack, and then you won't be able to do as much damage on places like the Sand Devils, right? You won't be hitting for the full enemy max HP hit, and it makes your team less consistent. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to eliminate that weak hit, right? It's going to give you that 50% chance. Now in champions like Newt, it's actually going to give you like a 60% chance on like the A3 to make sure that you don't weak hit and make sure that you actually hit for the full enemy max HP. A very good example is like this, where we have our ninja who is weak affinity against the Phantom Shogun, stage 25. This could take forever, right? It could take 2 to 3 minutes depending on the blessings and everything. But with Ninja being in an Affinity Breaker set, this is going to become a lot easier for us, because on that triple hitter, there is less of a likelihood that he's going to not hit for the full damage. As you can see right there, he was able to land his HP burn. He was able to ignite it. What's it actually going to do for you in Hydra? Now in Hydra, we know that we have the Poison Cloud head, right? And when Poison Cloud comes out, everything is a weak hit. No matter if you're positive affinity or what, it's going to be a weak hit. It's going to mitigate the amount of damage. And with Affinity Breaker, again, you've got that 50% chance to make sure that it goes through, right? Especially if it's like an HP burn hit. Now, let's talk about what it does on an off affinity head, right? So we'll go ahead, we'll attack the fear head here, and let's see what Ninja's A1 does. Ninja's A1 actually allowed us to hit a normal hit for about 40,000 damage. If he wasn't an Affinity Breaker, it would be a weak hit more often than not, and the damage would actually be very subpar. And especially if it's the only nuker you have out, it's going to hurt if somebody gets devoured that you need to get back, right? So let's try it again. Let's keep going real quick. Seeing, you know, we hit the first hit. Will the second one do the same thing? I should probably run this a little faster. Here we go. All right. So Ninja's A2 is a triple hitter. Let's see here what we do. So we hit normal here and normal here. We're positive affinity here. We were negative affinity here. So you can see the Affinity Breaker helped us land the HP burn and do enough damage to make sure that we were pretty solid, right? It's going to help us build that damage up. And now on champions like Ninja, when you actually start using him closer to like 150 turns or 100 turns, I forget what it is, he could start hitting close to 1.2 million. I've seen some hit almost to 2 million damage on their A1. So it's pretty insane that he's going to be able to give you that consistent damage. So the next reason why I feel you should be farming Affinity Breaker is because of the stat boost it gives you. Now, the stat boost is a 30% crit damage increase, right? Even if you look at the 2-piece set for crit damage, that's only 20%. This gives you 30. Yes, it's a 4-piece set, so it takes a few more extra slots, but I think the payoff is definitely there. There's not a lot of other gear sets, if any, to be quite honest, that give you any sort of extra crit damage. You might get some small amounts like 10 or 15. I think Killstreak doesn't have a Killstroke, has 20 crit damage, and that's a 2-piece set with 5 speed. that's actually a pretty good set to pair off with it, right? But crit damage is one of the basic things you need to try to boost your damage, right? Along with ignore defense and, whatever the primary stat that they have is, right? Whether it be attack, defense, or HP. So the last reason why I think you should be farming Affinity Breaker is because of its versatility and PvE content. So places like the Phantom Shogun, again, where we had our ninja come in, made him viable both for that at endgame level and also for Hydra, right? And he's probably one of the best champions that you could use for almost any damage, right? Most versatile. It doesn't lock him behind Affinity, because if it did, then the problem would be is how long is it going to take us? Is it going to work? Will we put out the damage? And so making sure that the account or the champion itself is as versatile as possible, Affinity Breaker makes that happen. That said, let me know in the comments down below, have I made my argument for you to start farming Affinity Breaker? Did I change your mind? Is it going to be, for the next couple of months, the number one set that you go for? Honestly, for myself, I farm out the lethal set as much as possible, and then I go Affinity Breaker, because the better gear that I have for Affinity Breaker, the better the better I'm going to be able to do for my account. Again, I hope I could change your mind. I hope I did change your mind. Let me know in the comments down below. If you have some time, make sure to join us on Sunday for the Knights of Teleria podcast, 2 p.m. EST, where we talk everything Raid Shadow Legends. Talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. We've definitely been having a little bit of ugly lately, so we will be discussing all of that on the podcast this week. And as always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other, and I'll catch you guys next time.